Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial on processing data in a two-dimensional array in Python. So as you hopefully know now, a two-dimensional array is made up of rows and columns. So in this example, our two-dimensional array has 5 rows and 3 columns. The index of the first row in Python is 0. And the index of the first column in Python is also 0. So the value stored at the location dataset 00 is 3. And just to prove that to you, let's run some code here. There's the name of the array. Square brackets, rows and columns. The first set of square brackets is the row number. So let's do row 0. The second set of square brackets is the column number. So let's also do 0. Whoops, that's not 0. Let's run that and hopefully we will see the number 3. Yes, we do. Okay. Now, what if we want to visit every element in the two-dimensional array? Well, the trick to do this is to visit each row, starting at row 0, or starting at index 0, and when you're in that row, visit each column. Okay, so that's what we want to do. We're going to go to 0, and then we're going to visit each column. So 3, 2, 1. Then we go to the next row, which is 1, and we visit each column inside that row. 0, 2, 4. Then we visit the next row, which is row 2, and inside row 2, we visit each column. 3, 3, 7. So to visit each row, all we have to use is a count-controlled loop. And we know that there are 5 rows. And when we visit a row, we then need to visit each column. Now I'm not going to use the control variable I because I'm already using it for this code. So let's use a different letter. Let's just use J, the next letter in the alphabet. Now we know that there are 3 columns. And let's just print out the value of each element in the array. That's how to do it. Okay? So when I is 0, J will become 0, 1, 2. So we'll print out 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Then we go back up to this for loop, and I becomes 1. J starts at 0 again, so 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So this inner for loop is finished. We go back up here. I becomes 2. J goes back to 0. 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. Then we go back up here, and I becomes 3, etc., etc., etc. Now to see that working, let's do this. Just going to use my formatting option in Python. I want to show the value of I, the value of J, and the value stored in that location. Okay? So let's run that and see what happens. So we visit the first row, that's when I is 0, and in that row, we visit each column, 0, 1, 2. So we start at row 0, and then we visit each column, 0, 1, 2. And the values are 3, 2, and 1. 3, 2, 1. Then I becomes 1, and we visit each column. Then I becomes 2, and we visit each column in row 2. Okay? Then I becomes 3, and we visit each column. 5, 1, 2. 5, 1, 2. Okay, so that's how it works. This is called, let's just write it down, we are using a nested for loop. A nested for loop is a for loop inside a for loop. Okay, this is called a nested for loop to do this. Okay, we start by visiting each row, and within each row we visit each column. Okay, now let's look very quickly before we finish today at how to display the total of every value in the array. So before we do our processing, let's create a variable called total and assign it a value of 0. Let's get rid of that. As we visit each row and then visit each column in the row, let's update our total. Remember, I tells us which row we're on, and there are 5 rows, and J tells us which column we are at within the row. And let's just print the total. Okay, so this nested for loop is going to allow us to process this array and calculate the total of all of the values inside. And the answer is 35. Wow, a computer program can figure that out way quicker than me, the humble human. And that's an introduction to processing a two-dimensional array.